This is Borderlands 3. We're here on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. This is the third main entry in the Borderlands franchise, and I guess technically the second one to go beyond, since there was that pre-sequel where you went to the moon, and I guess if you count like Tales from the Borderlands. Anyways, I digress. You get to go to Pandora and beyond. That's right. There's a whole universe of craziness out there. In this, both I guess if you wanted to, single player, but mostly cooperative focused experience that continues the Borderlands adventure. You get to pick a class, build up a character, play with your pals, online, locally, and go nuts out there in the universe as you face off against bandits, creatures, monsters, and other things in order to gather loot, bazillions of guns, weapons, tools, and other things to have a really, really great time with. Now, Borderlands 3 could be a lot of fun. Even if it's not necessarily the quintessential Borderlands experience, it's still a pretty rad time. So this is the resolution mode in the game. So this will actually benefit by basically the fact that it has a dynamic 4K resolution scaling. So we should be getting closer to that full 4K at 60 FPS, and the picture quality here is nice and clean and smooth. It's very aesthetically pleasing, Borderlands 3, as it should be. I mean, it's a pretty good looking game from its unique visual aesthetic, and I mean, it always kind of has been, right? Right from the beginning of this franchise all the way up till now, it's still a pretty good-looking time. What is going on here?
Yo, little help?
Vaughn, oh, totally forgot about you.
Shoot me now, will ya?
What a mess you've become. I'm going out this way. So there is also the second visual option for you that have those high frame rate displays. We've got performance. So performance mode is lowering the resolution quite a fair bit, but it allows you to have a silky smooth 120 FPS. So it's again dynamic, but it's a dynamic 1080p at 120 FPS. Now, of course, YouTube doesn't support the high frame rate still, somehow, and that's a lot harder to showcase to you, but it kind of just visually lets you get an idea of the game. Again, this is a game where the art style kind of holds up really well. Not really, like, I mean, obviously lower resolutions gonna make it look a little, like, you know, blurrier and stuff like that. But the art style does lend itself to scale very well, kind of no matter what you go for in terms of resolution. So, you know, a lot closer to the full 1080p, while getting you, in a lot of situations, closer to 120 FPS. It wasn't quite perfect on the PlayStation 5, and when you get into those bounds of over 100 FPS, it's kind of like, you know, to some degree, I think you'll notice it less and less the higher and higher you go, but yeah, it's a very fluid game, and I would say this is a fine way to experience it. Now, that being said, it's kind of fine having the clear resolution. It really, you know, it's up to you, right? But, like, it's not like it's really PvP unless you're choosing to duel another player. But, hey, you know, not here to judge. You do you. And that's why they give you options. It would have been cool had this been also a dynamic 4K mode, because then we could have had, you know, as technology goes on, pushing higher and higher boundaries. I don't know. Maybe they'll go back and upgrade these games for, like, PlayStation 6 down the line. But for now, these are your two options. Just for the sake of the fact that we're playing on YouTube, which isn't really supporting, you know, the higher frame rate, we'll just go to the higher res so that it looks better for people. And outside of that, we do have visual settings for field of view, vehicle field of view, and how you prefer to do your split screen action, if that is something that intrigues you. So anyways, it's a lot of fun. Crazy game. The bosses, or, well, I guess the main villains. Not as great as the villains that came before. They were kind of leading on that whole social media kind of craze going on. that's still kind of going on. They were trying to like make fun of it. This was one of those games where like I was sort of sitting there for the first time being like,
Come on, let's get out of here.
did the humor of the game get less funny? Or is it because I got older?
Bandit life.
And it's hard to say. Because like I found the original
So, you
Borderlands and like Borderlands 2 to be entertaining, and you know, I didn't really love the pre-sequel as much. I didn't spend as much, like I finished it, but I didn't spend as much time playing it. Now we gotta follow this guy. Is he already ahead of me? Oh, how'd you get over here?
Oh man, the children of the vault totally
Anyways, as I was saying,
That is not where that bloody
yeah, this was one of those games that I sort of questioned whether or not I had just matured. I think this one's just less funny. Like, it's got a large cast of characters, you get to go to crazy places, you do all the ridiculous things that the Borderlands is known for. It's zany, it's dumb, it's crazy, it's always got something going on. But the gameplay itself is still great, the sense of scale for Borderlands is alive and well. You get to visit these truly expansive locations. Some of the new planets are very, very large.
I'm gonna let you take care of him. Only thing I'm packing right now is not something I'm gonna use on a scab.
Cleared the area of skags. Of course, I have to do all the work. What a shocker, am I right? How come they had cash on them? That's what always gets me. It's like, how do these creatures have cash? And you know, you do so like moving around on foot, you get vehicles. You know, it's your usual experience, right? There's bazillions of things to do, quests, things to work through, lots of quests, side quests, main quests, lots of role-playing elements, lots of skill trees to work through, within the same character. There was some expansion content. It's a pretty full, complete Borderlands game, and from a gameplay standpoint, it was fine. Combat was fine. It looks cool, it's colorful, it's an upgrade over visuals and scale over the earlier ones. It's just, you know, it didn't quite hit the mark when it came to the narrative. The main story just wasn't quite as great. Which is a bit of a shame, because, again, you know, Borderlands has had some pretty stellar villains, and pretty stellar characters and moments. And yeah, I do think that was a bit of a letdown with this one, just the direction they were going for. And at the same time, still had a great time with it, you know. I still think the game is pretty impressive. I think it's got a lot of the fun and stuff that you liked, perhaps, out of the other Borderlands games. Just slightly less impressive from a story perspective. But if you're going around shooting things, blasting stuff, whether it's with your pals or random people online, and just kind of working through the story stuff and doing the extra story stuff, it's not bad. Honestly, you could do a lot worse. And with the extra overhead on the Pro, it just looks a little bit cleaner, runs a little bit better. Although, again, like I was saying, it's a little harder to tell because it is such a, you know, stylistic game visually. Mostly comes down to clarity.
Vaughn, what the hell are you doing here?
What's up, Lilith?
Hey, Lilith! Former war chief of the Sun Smashers reporting for duty! Go Crimson Raiders!
It's good to see you, Vaughn. The Raiders will take all the help we can get. So, Vault Hunter, did you find the map?
Yep.
The map was gone, but I picked myself up a bandit souvenir.
Map? If you're talking about that alien junk, my clan is bringing it to the Calypso twins as an offering. They're heading to the Holy Broadcast Center. It's where the Calypsos host murder sermons to amp up their followers.
We can't let the Calypsos get that map. But the Holy Broadcast Center is a long ride. Vault Hunter, you're gonna need some wheels.
They definitely improved the character models and stuff in this too. Big fidelity tech upgrade across the board for sure. But then again, like all the Borderlands games kind of got updated for like the current gen basically, so they are really all quite good looking, honestly. Like you would be I think you would be surprised if you hadn't jumped into the older ones anytime soon. As I will say one thing about the Gearbox support, they actually do support their games well, and they do actually upgrade things. Wait, this is still offline until I do. Oh yeah, it's like the opening thing here. Always so much work, am I right? Run across the open, get to vehicles eventually. I definitely do have my fun with the Borderlands series, though. I've really enjoyed these games over the years. And it's really interesting too, because like I rented the original, and then I had to go buy it right away. I was like, oh wow, this is so great, and I spent countless hours playing it. I had a lot of fun with it. And then we've seen numerous sequels in different ways kind of drop over the years.
Now remind me, what'd you say you was gonna do to my gal pal Lil?
God Queen Tyreen will drink soup from the skull of the great heretic!
My bad, finger slipped. Oh howdy! Didn't see you there.
Ellie, Desert Rose, Authority for Rockets. Okay, haha. And it's got quite a cast of characters. So there's so many characters in Borderlands, which I actually think is really intriguing. Honestly, the fact that it has such a diverse, large cast of characters.
You're a natural with that rocket launcher.
Some are just ridiculous. Some a little bit more reined in.
Ain't you a heartbreaker? Lil said you was looking for a vehicle. Damn cultist stole all mine. Mind stealing me one back? Then I'll set you up with a catch a ride. And thanks for coming by.
Catch a ride. Take vehicle, hijack vehicle. Best prices on Pandora. I think also the dynamics of this game's like wealth of skill trees was really cool. They really did kind of branch out. I will say it is a little harder to actually play this by yourself though. I think in these opening segments it's not too bad, but yeah, it's also just, like, in general, a lot more fun to play with others. I don't mind doing it solo this game, especially as I've, like, you know, kind of got, like, higher level characters usually when I play this, but I will definitely say I think a lot more of the fun is actually cooperatively rolling through this stuff, you know, working through your quests and that. And I would say definitely too, if you do end up liking this one, you should go and play the older ones. Like, I know Borderlands 2 is considered like the best by most people, but I really do genuinely think that original game, while somewhat antiquated today, is still a really great game. And well worth a checkout, especially if you're in the series. Oh, you guys. I think this looks really good on here. But I mean, it looked fine on the base PlayStation 5 too. It's just more about checking out, seeing it bumped up a little bit more, you know, talking about it. I always love an excuse to sit back and play a bunch of favorites. Welcome to the Super 87 racetrack. Can I actually, like, hijack it? Yeah, vehicles. That's great.
And her brother Troy is creepier than a slow dance with a hot corpse.
Kaboom! No, you can really feel that on the DualSense, eh? Feels nice. Can't escape the claptraps. They always find you.
Just park your car there, hun.
Catch a ride.
Alright, now register with a catch a ride so you can digistruct a new one whenever you want. Just in case you get a Pandora flat, meaning your car explodes.
And now the real fun begins. If you wanna go and take a ride with me.
Ellie got you rolling? Always does. Now, head to the Holy Broadcast Center and find that map.
Well, how do I get around here? Actually supposed to take the long way? I feel like this door should just open, eh? Nah, I think we gotta take the long way around. It was really interesting, though, that they basically took a place that was your end goal place for the other Borderlands games, essentially, right? Yeah. And then it was just like a starting area in this game. I always thought that was a nice touch. There should always be a little bit of Pandora in the Borderlands action.
Watch out for those so-called twin gods. What I hear, Tyreen Calypso's the star of the show. Her brother Troy runs the cult's propaganda. P.S. They both suck. Just saying. Ugh, I hate the Calypso twins so much. They conned the bandits of Pandora with promises of death cars and meat storms and blood saunas. Good stuff, right? I mean, even my clan fell for it. Gullible idiots. And I've never seen the Calypsos myself, but they must be the
Road to Ascension.
bloodthirsty psychopaths.
Ascension Bluff. Yeah, no, it's a pretty cool series. Yeah. Lots of fun to play. Wild stuff going on. Quirky, crazy characters. Lots of side activities you can do in order to beef up your character. There's no shortage of never-ending guns, so you're never supposed to get used to any of the guns. Because it just won't last very long. Oh, and there's a variety of different weird vehicle things, too. Okay, well now I have to actually go out of my way to kill you. Are you serious? That thing actually got away and now I'm like stuck here. How did this happen? This is embarrassing.
Sugar, Moxie here, and I've got a job for you. Those Calypso twins live for attention, right? So I say we take it away by turning
Finally.
the broadcast towers against them.
Oh, Moxie, you.
You are nearing a historical marker of
Tannis?
the first Vault Hunter.
It'd be crazy if Tannis was played by like 50-something-year-old woman, wouldn't it?
I am eager to acquire any
They would never do that, right?
behind.
Welcome to the Holy Broadcast Center. Our daily live stream will be
Tonight, Mouthpiece.
special
Eat his word.
your offerings now so you can join our
Kinda makes me almost want to sit here and like dive through a full playthrough of this again with like a new character. Oh, to have all the time in the world, am I right? Got a lot of fanatics to kill. Actually, I can't wait for the next step in the series. It's actually a franchise I really do genuinely like playing. And I feel like it's been a long wait. Very, very long wait.
The sacred vault map. If that doesn't earn him a special place in the family, I don't know what does.
Level up!
Accepted me, even though I wasn't born a bandit. My first
I like it better when I'm super high level, then I can just like insta-kill everything.
But now we're all family, and family is forever.
It's also so gory,
After a few quick shadows,
which is great.
stay bloodthirsty.
Art aesthetic, style, gameplay, gunplay, lots of fun in Borderlands 3.